So about a month ago, I did a poll in my Discord server in which I asked if you guys wanted to see more storytime videos, and you guys came out with this. So I guess you guys want more storytime videos. I think I'm gonna make this into a series because there's a lot of stories that I can tell about a certain part of my life, which was basically like the entirety of 2019 and 2020. Well, a part of 2020 at least. So I think I'm gonna make multiple story times of that time. This is the story of a good friend that I had and a friendship that could have possibly been a lot more, but I absolutely blew it. So sit back, relax, grab some snacks, and enjoy this video. This story starts very early 2019, so like literally January 2019. I was not exactly at the highest point in my life. I just got into 3rd grade in high school, which in the Dutch system works completely differently than in like the American system or the UK system. So when I say 3rd grade, I don't mean like American 3rd grade. I mean like Dutch 3rd grade, which is something completely different. At least I think it is. I got into 3rd grade and it was possibly the worst class I have ever had in my life. The whole class was essentially just filled with people that just, I wouldn't say they wanted to show off, but they were definitely like alpha people that had like no mercy for anyone. Making friends in that class was pretty much impossible, and school did not exactly help with this because they just don't care. But what they did do, which was a pretty cool idea, is, and this is gonna sound pretty dumb, but at my school there was this thing called, it was called like a social club or something. I don't exactly remember what it's called, but basically the point of it was that it was like a thing that you could join where a bunch of like massive introverts got together and just chilled the fuck out, and it was amazing. It sounds really dumb on paper, but in reality it was pretty good. So I heard about this somewhere mid-January 2019, and the first time I went there was like 28th of January, something like that. And that was like the first meeting, and it was fun. But we didn't really do anything the first meeting. I kind of got to know everyone that was there back then, which didn't stay the exact same throughout the entire thing. Some people joined, some people left. But in this story, we're mainly going to be focusing about one particular person that happened to be in this group, which was someone that I actually already somewhat knew. Well, I didn't know them like personally, but they were a friend of one of my friends, let's put it that way. For the sake of the video, we're gonna call her Sarah. Okay, Sarah's a pretty good name. Thank you, Kayon. So we're gonna call her Sarah for the sake of this video. So I already knew Sarah before all of this, and the way I knew her was I used to date one of her friends, and those two were like very good friends, and so she kind of like knew me as her friend's ex, and it was like super awkward. So that's kind of how I knew her as well, and it kind of stayed like that for I think a few more weeks. Then during one of the many gatherings that we have had, I found out she has Discord, so I added her on Discord, and we kind of started talking on there, but we still mainly stayed on WhatsApp because Dutch people mainly use WhatsApp over anything else. And so we kind of stayed talking on WhatsApp and Discord, blah 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 blah, sometimes here, sometimes there. That's all not important. Now this next part is basically where shit goes, well, it doesn't go south, but it's the origin of how everything went south. About like, I want to say a month-ish later, I was sitting at school and I had a gap lesson, which if you don't know is basically when you have a gap of literally nothing between your classes. Say you have a class at 10, and then the next class you have nothing, so like that hour you're free to do whatever the fuck you want, and then the next hour you have class again, and it's super annoying. I had that, but like really late in the day. I was kind of sitting in the school cafeteria not doing anything, and then out of nowhere Sarah comes up to me and she's like, hey, do you have a gap class? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, same. So we kind of sit there and chit chat about whatever, and that is when I invited Sarah to a server that I was very active in at the time. I invited Sarah to the Aeon Air Discord server, which was basically 80% of my time back then, which is also how I'm like literally top 3 on the Aeon Air leaderboard. So I invited her to that server, and we kind of mainly started talking on there other than anywhere else. So like whenever we saw that the chat was active, we would both hop in and we would see that each other was there, if that's even correct English. And we kind of kept doing that for a while, and it got to a point where literally every time we had like, you know, a gap class or something like that, we would not tell each other in like DMs or anything. We would ping each other in Aeon's server. And it probably looked really confusing to everyone else that was in the server at the time. Because like, imagine you're just randomly in a Discord server and then someone just goes, at Sarah, hey, I have a gap class at 2 p.m. Should we go somewhere during that gap? And then she's like, sure. But no one else in the server knows the like context. So everyone is really confused about what's happening. And so we kept talking, we kept getting closer, becoming better friends, blah, blah, blah. So we kind of kept talking, kept becoming better friends, blah, blah, blah. And it was all going fairly well, I would say, until a certain point. And there were many of these points where I had like worries. And it wasn't really worries about, oh no, we're not gonna be friends anymore. It was mainly worries about like health shit and stuff like that. It's hard to explain, but this person used to live very close to me, like literally walking distance. So whenever we wanted to meet up, and this was 2019, so we had no like COVID or anything, we could literally walk 3 steps and be in the other person's house. It was literally the best thing ever. And we would like meet up quite a lot. She had a Switch, so we would play a lot of games on that. And we would like talk about literally anything. Then on her birthday, and this is where shit kind of went south, someone she knew through Discord asked her out. As in like a relationship thing. And I think if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know how I feel about those. So that did not exactly go well. It lasted, I want to say about a week, probably even less. But obviously I stayed with her throughout the whole thing, because that's what friends are for after all. And after they broke it off, obviously I completely understood like why they broke it off, because I mean, I kind of saw it coming. And after that happened, we kind of moved on and everything was fine for a while. Then May holidays hit, which I don't know how you Americans deal with your holiday. Like, I don't know if you guys have any holidays during May, but we have like a 2-week holiday during May. So, and during that time we went to, oh fuck, what is the place called again that we visited? Hang on, let me check. Valencia, that's what it was called. It's a place in Spain, and I did a few vlogs there. It was a lot of fun, but I really missed Sarah. So then when I got back, things were still going pretty good. There were obviously still some up and downs. One of the biggest issues I've had to deal with was the fact that this Sarah person is not exactly the most self-conscious person, put it that way, as in she likes to underrate herself, and this does have a reason. A big issue here was that Sarah was on antidepressants at the time, and it was really a lose-lose situation, because the thing about, I don't know what kind of fucking antidepressants she took, but they didn't really help, in the sense of if she didn't take them, she would literally like lose her mind, but then if she didn't take them, she would like harm herself and shit like that, and it was basically really fucked up, let's just put it that way. Then from May to summer, not much really happened. We just kind of stayed as friends, not much really happened. I think during that time, oh no, actually I do remember something that happened. Basically for a reason that I'm not gonna talk about, she left Aeon server, which we were still both in at the time, and she joined a different community, which was called, I think it was called Happy World. This community has had like 5 different names, so I don't know what it originated with. But yeah, the original server had like 3,000 members, and it was a super cool place. It's also where I met some of the people that I still know today. So that's also definitely a big part of like my past, but I joined that server originally because Sarah joined it, and that's pretty much the only really important thing that happened between May and summer. But then summer comes around and we both had plans for holidays. Well, our families did. She was going to Bali for like 2 weeks, I think, and we were going to Italy for 3 weeks, and this was probably one of the worst times ever. During that summer 2019, literally everything went wrong. Summers in general for me have been a pretty bad experience over the last few years, and I'm gonna get into that later. But summer 2019, a lot of shit has happened. If you guys have seen my last storytime video, which I posted like 7 months ago, in that video I was talking about a person that I think I called her May in that video. This May person was also part of this story, because keep in mind this was all like the same storyline, it's just different characters that I will dedicate separate videos to. During this time, May disappeared. This was the time when she texted me saying that like she wasn't feeling well and shit, and she was gonna be gone for a while, and then she left for like a month and a half. Second day, I got a message saying that she was not having a great time and that she would be gone for a while. This made me worry the fuck out of my skin, because there was zero context to this. This was that time, and during that time, Sarah was also not doing well. At that moment, she was in another relationship, which again was online. And even in that relationship, they really weren't doing too well, both of them. So it was like a huge clusterfuck of a situation, and I pretty much spent the entire summer being busy with that more than anything else. And it also didn't help that at this time my parents were discussing possibly moving, which did not help at all because I live, like I said, like walking distance from Sarah. So if I moved, it would be a big issue for us. So I told her this, and it really depressed the fuck out of her. However, about a week later, I received news that even if we did move, it's not gonna be anytime soon. And I mean, here we are, it's 2021 and we still have not moved. So I told her that we were not gonna move anytime soon. She got really happy, which was a good thing. And that's pretty much all for summer. After that, I came back to the Netherlands, and she was already there. She came back like a week before me. And pretty much the next day after we arrived, me and Sarah like went to like walk around the city, kind of just meet up again. Because I mean, at that point, we literally had not seen each other for a month. So we did that, and from there on, things were going pretty well between like the two of us. In general, the second half of 2019, like right after summer, after everything kind of got back on path, was pretty good, if not really fucking good. Me and Sarah celebrated New Year's together, like New Year's Eve. Then 2020 rolls around, and this is when things went south really quick. During the first half of 2020, I'm pretty sure this was like February, maybe even January. No, this was February, because this was right after I told Sarah that like we had known each other for like a year now, that was like a big thing. And I was like being really sweet about it, because I mean, I was just being nice to a friend. It's kind of what you do. So I did that, and then like 2 weeks after, we had a big fight. I'm not gonna go into like details of what the fight was about. Actually, I don't even remember what the fight was about. But we got into a fight. We were both trying to like really blame it on each other. And after that, we went to DMs, discussed it there, and then we kind of just didn't talk for a while. In general, the first half of 2020 was really bad socially wise for me. We had 2 fights in the first half of 2020. The first one never really ended. Well, it ended, but we never really had a conclusion. The second one we discussed on WhatsApp, and we were just kind of like, okay, we both made a mistake. We owe it to ourselves. Now we're just gonna keep on going. As in, like, we were square in that kind of way. Then we had, like, okay contact. It definitely already was not the same as it was before, but it was okay. Then we went to a friend's birthday party together in early summer of 2020, which was a lot of fun. I also met a lot of friends there who I still know today. So if you were there at that party and you're watching this video, then you know I'm talking about you, and you're awesome. Not to say that you other people who are watching this video are not awesome, because you're all awesome, because you're watching my videos, and I really appreciate that. So then shortly after that, we went to Italy for 3 weeks, and by we I mean me and my family. And this is kind of where our good contact ended. There wasn't an exact point when it ended, but there was already some tension building up during summer. Like, we would like text back and forth in a group chat, and every time it just seemed like everything we said to each other turned into like a mini argument. But we kind of went over that. Summer for me in general was pretty harsh, because we actually had to leave Italy early because my cat died. We didn't have to leave because it died. It was still like, he was still alive when we left, but we like rushed back home to kind of help him and like get him to a vet and shit, but we were too late. And then the second half of 2020, and me and Sarah kind of completely stopped talking. We still had a few discussions, which turned into fights, and it was just gone. The contact was gone. It was not the way it used to be anymore. Nowadays, I still see her here and there, but we're not really friends anymore. And I guess that's also, I wouldn't say that's the end of the story, because I mean, I guess it does have an ending, but there might still be a part 2 if anything happens, even though I doubt that's gonna happen. But yeah, that's kind of the story of how it happened. And even though it doesn't exactly have a good ending, I'm still glad that it happened, because if anything, it taught me a lot, put it that way. I think the main reason why I fucked it up is because over the course of 2020, I changed drastically. Like, if you compare my current self with my 2019 self, you would probably not believe me if I told you that that is the same person over the course of 2 years. Like, back in 2019, I used to be this really gentle, kind of wholesome person, whereas now I'm a lot more aggressive. And yes, I would admit that I am sorry that it happened. Like, I would have hoped that it would have went different. Like, if I could have gone back right now and changed it, I would. Sarah stayed very close to me throughout everything that happened for those 2 years. She's a very sweet person. She's always ready to be there for you if you're struggling with something. But at the same time, she's very fragile and easy to break. And I think that's one reason why we kind of stopped talking. So yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna leave this video. Next story time, I don't know what I'm gonna do it about. Usually I just do these videos when I remember something that I could talk about, but we'll figure it out. If you did enjoy this video, you can let me know with a like rating down below. Also, if you're for some reason not subscribed to the channel, which why are you not? Please be sure to sub down below. We recently hit 250 subs. I am working on the 250 sub special, so don't you worry about that. Also, I'm sorry if this video seems a bit off. It's just that, like I said in my Discord, I'm kind of taking a break from YouTube right now because recently I've just been putting out content for the sake of putting out content rather than putting out things I would want to put out. And right now is also like the worst time because there is literally nothing to play right now. So I'm kind of waiting on that. I don't know what I'm gonna do in the meantime. We'll figure it out. Thank you guys for sticking with me for this long. I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know when the next one's gonna be, but if you do want to know when the next one's gonna be, you can hit the bell next to the subscribe button. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble about a girl for literally 46 minutes. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.